Recently, I gave someone the chance to unplug from their job and gave them the 15 steps to start a business that would set them free with no money. I hope you enjoy it. I have 15 steps to help someone start a business, right? We're going to go through them. And by the end of it, you should have all the tools you need to make this business happen. But we're going to support you every step of the way to make it happen, all right? I think the first thing is maybe the purpose. You know, the reason I work so hard today, I don't need the money and I don't need the fame. But I do need to feel a sense of place in the universe. I want to be seen and I want to be heard. But when I was 15 years old, I was made homeless. And I was forced to start a business because I couldn't get a job. I felt like, you know, that was a really hard time in my life. And then later in my life, when I was 25, 26, and I started to have stability, I vowed that I would go back and help the 15-year-old me. You know, that person who struggled and had to learn business on their own, and school didn't help me, and no one really would help me unless they paid. Unless I paid them, no one would help me unless I paid them. I thought, I will go back and help people and not expect anything in return, right? So this is a big part of building a business that people don't really get, right? So you've got an idea right now to perhaps build a platform that gives people access to South African products, right? And culture, right? And it can make money, but it won't be enough for you, right? So we need to build in purpose. This is the first step that people skip. They go straight into filling a market gap, right? If we can build purpose into it, then you will get up every day and do it, even when it gets tough. This is what I mean by purpose around your idea. Now, I'm making this up because I don't know enough about South Africa, okay? But, and forgive me if I get this wrong.
No, it's fine.
But it's just how to... People don't put purpose into their business and then they don't follow through, right? That once the money's not there quickly, which most businesses take a while to make real money, people give up because the purpose isn't strong enough. So I want to find a purpose. And what I'm thinking is, an example might be, in South Africa, I believe there was at one point quite high crime, right? So let's say, my opinion, and it's very broad, my opinion on crime sometimes is that people that commit the crimes, sometimes it's that they have had a hard life, right? I genuinely don't think people grow up wanting to be criminals, right? So what if a percentage of the profits of this platform went to help South African kids not get caught in that trap?
100%. Right? And like you talk about the motivating factor, I mean, that would, you know, of course, that would help the motivating factor 100%. Right.
And without going too far, I really want people to understand purpose that are listening, and I really want to get it right for you, because let's say every time we sell a chair or some food, a percentage of the profit goes to help this part of society that we're talking about that often ends up in crime because of their circumstances. And say no one wants to be a criminal, in my opinion. And but you could do all sorts of interesting things like cultural exchanges. So there's lots of kids in England that end up in knife crime and in difficult situations because they have a similar problem, right? You could almost create a holiday exchange for 100%. These underprivileged kids. Because I know myself, when I went to Hong Kong, like, it changed my world. Like, seeing a different culture, right? So people in England going to South Africa, people in South Africa going to England, and maybe even like some sort of redesign your life kind of idea, right?
100%. And you briefly touched on experiences. I mean, and your experience when you're going to Hong Kong. I mean, if someone from here had to go there, I mean, like you said, or any country for that matter, would change their and experiences can only help you grow and kind of mature as a person. So I think something like that would be amazing. And from me to know that I'm help sustaining that and kind of helping that, I mean, of course, that's another motivating factor for sure.
So I think this is, for me, that's the first step, identifying purpose. So we just ticked the box. I feel it from you, like this is a potentially big purpose, right? If you don't make this happen, then those kids don't get help. Right? So, and if people listening want to buy your food or your products, they'll be contributing to solving the problem as well, right? They won't just be making you rich, which isn't even your motivation, but you're going to need profit, right? Now let's just quickly talk about company structure, all right? So there's 3 types of company structures that you can operate a business like this around. There's a charity model, okay? Because we're starting to sound like a charity for a second, right? We've got a business, yes, it sells something, but it's really trying to help solve a problem in the world, right? So it's charity model. And then you've got a for-profit model, a limited company model, right? There is a hybrid. In England, they call them CICs, which is like they're charity structured, but they can make profit, right? My personal opinion is that as soon as you have any sort of charity structure, let's say an actual charity or a CIC, you can't easily, for example, pay people properly. Because people will say you're taking the money from the charity and you're paying people properly, which will reduce your access to talent. Right? That's why a lot of charities struggle to find good people because they can't afford to pay them, and then people have a go at a charity for paying people too much. But if you don't pay people properly, then you can't build a great business. So my recommendation for you is that we build a for-profit business that does good. So a percentage of the profit goes towards helping the community we just mentioned. What do you think?
I'd have to agree. Yeah, I think that'll be good.
All right, so we've now kind of ticked off number 2, right? Number 1 was purpose. Number 2 is company structure to give you the ability to scale, right? So we're a for-profit company, and we're not going to be shy about that. Right? We're a for-profit company. We're not. Why should we be embarrassed? We're going to do good. Right?
I think that'll also from a customer's customer's perspective, I think that would intrigue them as well, you know.
Of course.
The kind of mission statement and stuff from us would be something along the lines of, yes, obviously we do sell products, hopefully good quality and hopefully something you enjoy, but when you are buying them, you know that you're also doing some good as well and helping people who are less fortunate than yourself.
Exactly. So alongside this kind of, I guess, clear definition of company structure leads to really brand values. Okay, so before we start building out the business, which we'll do today, I think one thing we need to ascertain is like, what are the brand values? Okay, so let's start with obvious words, right?
Integrity.
Integrity, great.
That's the first one that came into my head.
Integrity. Transparency would probably be it.
Responsibility.
Quality.
Responsibility.
Quality. You want quality product, right?
Of course.
You want it
100%.
You know, authentic quality products. You're not pretending it's from that country. You're not going to pretend that it's good craftsmanship when it isn't. Right? Quality. Value. What do you think? Value is an interesting one because it might not be IKEA. You could argue is value, but you might not want to go down that route. It can be premium, for example. It's probably kind of the opposite. Maybe to.
I mean, for value, I mean, you want to have something that's, like you say, quality and, you know, something that's good, you know, for your money. You don't want to be pricing something too expensive, too cheaply, anything like that. So I do think that's quite an important one.
So let's define, to help sometimes with brand values. Let's describe the perfect customer. Right. So I think I have it in my mind what the perfect customer is, but I'd just like to hear from you. What do you think the perfect customer is for this new platform?
Someone who's open-minded, someone who wants to maybe learn a little bit, someone who kind of has an idea of what they're looking for, but still quite open-minded to maybe being, you know, not necessarily persuaded, but kind of guided in what they want or what they kind of want to get out of the product or anything like that. Someone that's willing to ask questions, because that's great. I mean, you know, if a customer has to ask questions to you, you can kind of have a conversation and stuff like that.
When we're designing brand values, which is, you know, what we're talking about now, it's important to really align it with who the client's going to be. So IKEA did a really clever thing, because what IKEA didn't say we're only going to sell to people from Sweden, right? They created a Swedish product that anyone can buy. I think it's kind of interesting to explore this avenue with your business. So let's say, for example, if part of your platform was a holiday platform that people could book an experience to South Africa, right? So you kind of create an element of, you're almost creating, if you just sell it to people who are here that are from South Africa, that'll be a small market.
100%.
Right? I don't know in London, I'm going to guess if there's 50,000 people from South Africa here,
100%.
it'll probably be. So they can be our base. Right? So to me, let's make them client number one. So how are we going to appeal to them? First thing is, list out all the products that they would buy. Can you think of anything on top of your head? Name a few products you think they would buy.
I mean, I can think of food.
Go ahead.
I mean, I can think of food. I mean, it's classic South African food. I mean, and beer as well. I mean, something that I personally enjoy as well. Beer. I mean, like Windhoek, Castle Lager, Black Label, food as well. Biltong. I don't know if you've heard of Biltong.
Biltong have actually got shops here.
Yeah, they do have a few Biltong shops here. Certain crisps or chips, however you want to call them, that sort of thing. That's, again, like you said, it's very small, but if you ask me products that South African people do enjoy food-wise, that's something that kind of came into my head.
By the way, this is an interesting hack when building a business. So Biltong, is it called?
Biltong, yeah.
Biltong. You could go look at their website and go look at their pitching collateral. They're trying to reach the whole of England. right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of interestingly learn from them.
Yeah.
You can see how they're wording it. So it's an interesting combination of keeping the culture of what they've got, but making it appealing to the mass market.
Yeah.
Now, brands like that potentially are actually a competition in part, but you're going to be something different because you're going to be aggregating all of these products. They're only selling one product.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll sponsor you, pay you to have their product on your site, right?
Yeah.
But the hack here that I think people don't get in teaching you is you can learn how to position the products by reading how the competition, like that brand, is doing it, right? So branding is about understanding your client. Describe to me, you think someone in England that would buy one of those beers. Why would they pick that beer and not Carlsberg or Heineken?
I mean, a lot of people say stick to what you know, right? But nowadays, I think a lot of people are more than open to trying new things. And if I said to someone in England, look, here's a Peroni or a Carling that you've had a million times, or here's a Windhoek. We've had this a million times. Why not try something new? You might like it, you might not.
As we go through these points, I'm going to give you some tasks.
Okay.
That if you do them, this business will happen.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the tasks is to look at Bhutan. Bhutan. Check them out. So make a list. Check out the competition / partners.
Yeah.
And what you're looking for is how they word things, right? Because they spent a lot of money and time thinking about how to get their products noticed. Same with the beer companies.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I would probably do if I was you to begin this business.
Yeah.
All your student friends.
Yeah.
There must be a bar nearby.
Yes.
And you get the beer company, one of these beer companies, to give you some of their product. So contact the beer companies and tell them that you want to promote their beer to your university friends.
Yeah.
Contact these beer companies, right? And you say to them, I want to promote your product. I'm South African. No one's drinking your products in England.
Yeah.
And I would like you to send me a load of beer, and I'm going to organise a party at my local pub with your beer, or local venue, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you basically email those beer companies until one of them says yes.
Okay.
Right? And then you have your first product on your platform. You see, it's not about building a physical platform day one. It's about connecting South African products to consumers.
Yeah.
So you don't need to go and build a massive website to start to do that.
Yeah.
And when you contact the beer companies, tell them Simon Squibb and other social media influencers will come along.
Yeah.
And they'll have potentially not only hundreds of new customers trying their product, which we all know in products about getting people to taste the product.
Yeah.
The second thing is they're going to get loads of social media coverage for it. So how much are they going to pay you? Something you need to think about to do this.
I feel like it's a win for them as well, because like I said, you mentioned the social media coverage and what they can get as well as me.
Of course.
Yeah.
But the first step is, and this is where people make a mistake when they're building a business, right? They don't do this. First step is you just want a beer company to give you free beer. And then you can get the beer in the consumer's hands and you can start profiling who your customers could be. Because people taste it and don't like it. You want to understand who your customers can be. So right now we're going to start with university students because you have access to that network, right?
Yes.
The second step, if that works, is to get the beer company to pay you.
Yeah.
So month 1, free beer, free event. Month 2, beer company pays you, ticketed event.
Yeah.
Now you have a business.
Yeah.
Now,
something that's up and running.
Yeah, you don't need to have this platform day one all up and perfect, right? What you need is to connect South African products to consumers.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. The brand values will come once you're clear on your client breakdown. So the next thing you have to do is almost write a very detailed persona of your clients. So the first persona, right? Obvious. South African people that are here.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Not going to have to convince them probably to try South African beer.
Yeah.
Probably not going to have to convince them to buy some South African furniture.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially if the business has a purpose.
Yeah.
The next profile starts to be a little bit more complicated. And what I would suggest you do is you go sit in one of these existing South African stores and watch who walks in. Right?
Yeah.
Literally just hang outside the shop watching who's walking in and who's walking out. Find out who's already buying products of this nature.
So just be aware and kind of be vigilant of that cause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, we come up with a name for this business because I feel like it becomes very real when you have a name. Are there any names that spring to mind?
Not off the top of my head, to be 100% honest, not really. I don't know. I can have a little think about it. But like you say, you don't want something that's too difficult to pronounce or anything.
What's the most popular flower in South Africa?
Protea.
What's it called?
The Protea, I believe.
Protea.
Protea, yeah.
How about calling it that? Protea.
The Protea.
Protea platform.
Damn, that is quite a nice name. Okay.
Not too bad to pronounce.
Yeah, Protea
right,
platform,
it causes a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Write it down.
Yeah.
Once you've decided your name, we need to trademark it. Because a lot of people build a business, it does quite well, and then someone sends them a cease and desist letter and says, stop. So we need to get your trademark sorted out.
Okay.
Now, I have a trademark lawyer myself. I might be able to ask him a favour to do it for free, but it's only £250 to register a trademark online. So once we've got the name confirmed, then we go get the trademark done, and you can do it all online. It's simple.
Okay.
Right? But we need to get that sorted out once the name's confirmed.
Yeah.
Right? The next step now we have a name, is to check what website addresses are available.
Okay.
Right? And then go grab social media handles, even if you're not using them right now.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
that sort of thing.
TikTok, Snapchat. Go register them all. It costs nothing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right. For example, when I launched the business I'm doing now, I actually initially just opened up a Twitter account.
Okay.
Right, and I just started tweeting. Not a cost, not a big deal, but I'm setting out my stuff. And the second thing that you can do, that you should do, is go register a website address, and then depending on what platform you use, like GoDaddy or Wix, but GoDaddy, for example, you can go on that website, you can buy the website address, and then they'll give you 1 month free for the website. And you can do it yourself. It's so easy. So all you need to do, this has been my suggestion, is you put the name on there. We don't have a logo yet. We'll come to that in a minute. Do the brand name, and you make a statement. You know, something like, I was stopped in the street and asked what my dream was, and this is my dream. To help people in South Africa, to help people experience South African products, whatever your text is. And then you put join my mailing list. You put join my mailing list, right? And what you want is for people to hear your story and sign up to your mailing list, so that you can start emailing them invites to the beer party, invites to the food party. And eventually, when the platform's live, invite them to come onto the platform and buy product. Right? It doesn't have to be a big fancy website, but you have to set it up, and it won't cost you anything.
Something that can actually drive a few,
exactly.
For sure.
You can take some of the money I've given you and pay for these little things. A URL will be about £2 for a year, and hosting will be free for a month. So far, in all of these things we've gone through, it's actually cost you about 10 quid max, right? And we're quite far down the line now.
I think a lot of people don't understand that as well. I think a lot of people think it's going to be a lot more than that.
This is what I'm saying. All of these things we're talking about now is just energy, right? And if you've got time now, we bought you some time, right? Instead of you standing in that shop selling stuff that means nothing, you're now able to spend time instead building out relationships with partners like the brands, and building out relationships hopefully with potential clients, right? We've spent £10 so far, right? Now, when building out a social media strategy for the business, which maybe comes a little bit further down the line, but do you have a platform you like to use personally, social media wise?
I feel like Instagram is quite a generic one. I do use Instagram a lot, whether it be for news, sports stuff, to see what my friends are up to. Instagram is one that I use a lot,
Right.
And I'm familiar with how it all works, where everything is.
Are you camera shy?
Am I camera shy? Not really.
No, not really.
No, not really.
So this is what I think you should also do.
Connect. I feel like
every single day from tomorrow, you do a video saying, just a 1 minute video saying what you're doing and what's happening. And post it. Don't overthink it. Basically, you want people to join your journey. And in reality, you've got 75 days to build a business, before the cash runs out. You've got 75 days. 75 days of posting every single day. You'll have a following, a potential client base, right? And as you get your social media handles ready, initially I'll do it from you, right? But then you can start to have a company social media page, which you start driving traffic to. Now, when you do a video on your phone and you record it for 1 minute, you can easily upload it to TikTok and easily upload it to Facebook as well. And it won't cost you any extra time, really, much. You have to edit it in those places, but it won't be much work, right? Do it every day. 75 days of posting up your journey. It will motivate you and it will build your social media presence, and it will cost you nothing.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
Your destination is important in these steps. Where do you want to end up? Let's say 10 years from now, let's say this all works, right? Visualizing your destination is quite important. Describe to me your universe at that point, 10 years from now.
The first thing you said when you said destination, we spoke about earlier about helping kind of people, you know, who are less fortunate than ourselves and stuff, to see that I've maybe made a little, like I say, even if it's a little difference in that, I think that would be the destination for. And when you speak about purpose, I think that would be absolutely amazing to see that I've actually done something.
So let's visualize it. You've helped 10,000 people fight back against the crime,
homelessness or
homelessness. You've helped 10,000 South Africans and 10,000 people in the UK avoid a difficult life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So visualize that. That's what you've achieved.
Yeah.
In 10 years, it's very possible.
Yeah.
And now let's also visualize, like, for example, you have a section inside every single IKEA. IKEA have done a partnership with you, and they've let you have a little section where your products sit, right? You're in every single IKEA.
Yeah.
Sounds bizarre because it's different to IKEA, but they might like it.
Yeah. Sure.
Right? They're also looking for new ways to reinvent themselves, right? You've got a bigger party every month that people come to, with thousands of people, maybe taking over Wembley, where people come and try your food and hear South African singers, right? Think big. You've got to think. Think big, right? But visualize your destination, because if you know where you're going, you're likely to get there. Right? So write down now. You're going to write down where you're going to be in 10 years, right? Write it down. Spend some time thinking about it, and think big. Think South African beer blips in the sky. You know, think South African car company launched. You know, like showing off the engineering ability of South Africa. South African coffee shops.
Yeah, I think
10,000 kids that would be in crime otherwise working with you. A community of people helping your brand do well so that more people get help like they were helped. Think big. So I've said this, get a client. So get the beer companies on board. You could do the same with the food companies. Exactly the idea we just said about beer, you could do with food.
Yeah.
You could do food tasting events.
Yeah.
Right? So get one client to pay you to do these things.
Yeah.
Get one brand. So all of the South African food brands, email them all. And don't stop until you get through to someone. Yeah. Right? And with your mission on top, they will want to get customers, but they might also just as much want to help you with your mission. This is the thing I think people don't realise. If they email someone and say, "Oh, can you give me product?" and people say no, well, first of all, you haven't explained why they should do it. What's in it for the brand, right? And sometimes the thing that really trumps what's in it for the brand is supporting something that's doing good. Yeah. Right. Really powerful.
Yeah. Especially if that's one of our missions, you know, to try and help you know, help as many people as possible. I think that would be a motivating factor for them to also get on board for sure.
Know yourself, right? So. Do you need a co-founder? And what are you good at and what are you bad at? Yeah. Right? If you were thinking about the things you're bad at, what are you bad at?
Sometimes I might spend a little bit too, you know, try to make things as perfect as possible, trying to spend, I mean, you can say that maybe that's a good thing as well, but it can be quite, you know, you just want everything to be so perfect and, you know, nothing's properly perfect. You're always going to get things that fall out of line and stuff. But I do think sometimes I focus on something so much and my brain just kind of goes haywire, and I kind of just, do you know what I mean? I try and make it so.
Yeah, it is a meme. This is, by the way. Like,
oh, right.
When you're doing a job interview, what's wrong with me? I just care too much.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I too much detail. I get it. I get it.
It's not really that though. It's more because it messes me up, and then I end up just.
Well, you won't post a video.
I drive myself away.
You'll be analysing every video you do.
And that's the thing.
So to kind of suppress that a bit for the content side, the video will not be perfect, but post it up. Yeah. All right. Just because by day 75 you'll be brilliant. Day 1 it won't be great. Day 2 it won't be great. Day 3 it won't be great. Yeah. Do not stop and keep improving the quality of it. Yeah. But I'm talking about so for example, me, I'm really bad at accounts, right? I have no interest in learning accounts, and I'm not an accountant. Yeah. So I have a basic understanding because I've had no choice after all these decades of working, but You know, what area, so for example, when I listen to you, my guess would be that you're really good actually on the front end, the marketing, the brand story, but maybe you need someone on the back end that, for example, might build the site or manage the site or manage the inventory.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be the other way around. I mean, in this sort of thing you're building, there's two types of personalities you need. You need someone front end that's promoting the business, getting the brands on board, convincing people to work with you, convincing maybe later for people to invest in you.
Yeah.
That, and then there's another job, very important job in a platform like this, someone managing the supply chain, someone managing the client database systems, someone managing payroll.
Yeah, important stuff like that,
Yeah, so which one do you want to do?
I'd probably be more like to be on the forefront, to be quite honest.
Right, so next job for you, write down a job description of all the things you don't want to do.
And try and,
Are you on LinkedIn?
No.
Right, set up a LinkedIn account.
Okay. Yep.
And your first listing is co-founder of this business, right? And then do a post saying looking for a co-founder.
Yeah.
And then say, CC me on it, tag me in it, and I'll share it on my network. But you need, I think, to find someone to help you in this journey. Now, a lot of people think I want to own 100% of the business, and there's nothing wrong with that. Personally, I'd rather own 50% of something that works. Right, 100% of something small that
100%.
Doesn't work, that is painful because you're doing all the things you don't love, is why a lot of people don't make it, right?
Yeah.
So I think you find a co-founder for this.
Yeah.
And that's part of your job.
Yeah.
In the next 75 days, you will find a co-founder. Now, there's a couple of ways a co-founder can play out. A co-founder can invest in a business, by the way, right? A co-founder can actually get involved, not only working in the business, which is the ideal, they might also support financially. Yeah. So after 75 days, we've already ascertained that you can live on £2,000, right? So don't increase your lifestyle costs, keep it until the business is working, but with a co-founder, they might be able to invest to make the business work. They might even pay for the platform, right? If 75 days from now you've got a working prototype, that co-founder is going to be very excited, right? The next thing is working out the finances, okay? Now, my take on this is, in your case, you've got 75 days where you don't need any money, right? So it's all about proving the model. But in those 75 days, if you can find a co-founder that will invest, or let's say it's going really well, 30 days from now, you've got 10,000 people following you and everyone's getting excited, you might want to do a crowdfunding campaign, right? Yeah. And there's many different types of crowdfunding. There's equity crowdfunding, there's product crowdfunding. Of course, there's straight up support charity type crowdfunding. Yeah. I reckon in 30 days time, you might want to do one of these. I want you to research them. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 different sites to have a little look at. Right? GoFundMe.com, which is pretty much a pure support someone play. Yep. Right? You tell people your dream and then people will support you. You go look at Crowdcube. This is more like an equity play, so you will set equity in your company, right? Yeah. And then you've got Indiegogo. This is more pre-selling of a product type crowdfunding. So maybe if you come up with your own product, people can pre-buy it, and that gives you the money to then go buy the product and ship it to people, right? So do a little bit of research on those because you're not going to need it now, but in the future when it comes to financing, you might. What you probably do want to do is know to yourself, you've got 75 days of runway. Yeah. You're never going to stop this business until it's either sold or it's working and you can let someone else run it and take some time off, right? So what you need to do is say to yourself, how am I going to make sure in 75 days from now I can sustain myself? So have a little think about that. Now, an example was Airbnb, right? Airbnb, when they first started, they didn't have any money. And they didn't have any money to pay for the site. So they created a cereal box product. You know this story?
No, I don't.
They're called Obama Reels and McCain Snacks. And they sold these at conventions, and that paid for the site. So they didn't
something as small as that.
They didn't start with necessarily having all the money in the world to do the website, and they came up with this product which they sold at conventions. Now the good thing was the people that go into conventions need somewhere to stay, right? So it had connection to their business, but they made money from that, and that funded their website. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about, and maybe the events we just talked about could be a way to fund you. Yeah. We want to make sure you get £2,000 a month coming in to sustain this, giving you the freedom of time to work on this, right? So next 75 days, you have to have a little think about like what you can make, sell, do to generate £2,000 a month. So you're not worrying about having to get a job again, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to come from this events stuff. Maybe a product sponsor, right? But let's keep thinking about this, because it might come from you getting a contract from a product out of South Africa that pays you £2,000 a month to help distribute their product.
Yeah.
There must be 20,000 products in South Africa. One of them's got money and they're not in this country. And they will pay you to help them break into this country.
Yeah, sure.
Who doesn't want access to 68 million people, right?
100%.
So you need to write this down. You need to think about your financial structure, long term.
Yeah, it's important.
I think there's a famous quote that no one your age shouldn't be able to buy a Lamborghini. And I don't agree with the sentiment that you'd want to buy a Lamborghini, but there's absolutely no excuse for not making £2,000 a month in this day and age as a business owner, right? One brand paying you to distribute their product. If they do that, it's not a job, because your platform is designed to do that. This is all them paying you to have the experience to do it, right? It's not a job.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. Especially if it's something that you enjoy, and especially if it's something that's actually doing good.
Yes, exactly. You need to set yourself, because the next element is like a little bit of targets. So, like I'm saying, every week you're going to post. Mm-hmm. No excuse. Right? Even if you're sick, you're going to do a 1 minute sneezing post, right? There's no excuse.
Yeah.
And you're going to set yourself a target of like emailing, I think, 20 brands a day, right? There's an email, once you've got a template, takes 5 seconds, right? Set yourself some targets, all right? Mm-hmm. Now, the next thing is talking about long term, like, do you need an investor, right? And now, I do think a co-founder can be an investor. You can do crowdfunding, but you might want to look into angel investors and people that have invested in product businesses. So, for example, I know the people behind Graze. Okay. Graze is a big product business here. Yeah. They raise lots of money. I could introduce you to those people, it's no problem. But what I'm saying is, I want you to look into the angel investor world and go look at people that have invested in South African products. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk would, for example. So make a wish list, write this down. Make a wish list of people that if they invested in your business, it would be transformational. And don't underestimate the power of tweeting Elon Musk and saying, I want people in Britain to know how amazing South African products are. Will you invest in my business? But Elon Musk is a long shot. Sure. So what I want is short shots. Yeah. And that is, I want you to have at least 20 people that you have researched to see. And you can go on sites like angellist.com and you can go look at businesses that, like Batang, who invested in them. It's probably public knowledge. You can go on Companies House, on the registry, you can see who the people are that financed it. Yeah. Right? And you might find that those people can finance you too. Now, you might not need them. Right, you might not need them, but I want you to know how it works, right? Because that's one more reason to believe you can scale it once you feel like you could get the money if you needed it, right? Yeah. This is quite a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but the next thing you need to do is sort out your circle, right? Whoever's around you, and you tell them this idea, right? And they say, oh my God, just focus on your university. Yeah. Frankly, cut them out of your life for a little while.
Yeah, luckily, right? I do know what you mean, but luckily, none of my friends at university are quite like that. Or a lot of them have kind of their own individual aspirations as well. There's not one person that I can think of that wouldn't be like,
that might be partly why you're sitting here today.
Yeah.
Because you have an open mind, but your friend circle will affect you.
Yeah.
Right? So you keep a close eye on that.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean you don't love them or you don't like them, but just for the next 6 months, I suggest anyone that is even slightly like that, you just say, look, don't be negative around me. It's partly their own fear people put it on you, you see. And people are like, oh, what if it doesn't work? Well, so what if it doesn't work? Yeah. Just make sure they don't influence you. Sounds like you've got that bit sorted out, but just watch out. That's, in my opinion, one of the important steps. You've got to make sure the people around you, I remember I told my mum I wanted to start my own business. She's like, just go to university and be a lawyer. Yeah. I'm like, me and my mum fell out. Yeah. Right? Because I think, and I'm glad I fell out with my mother, because I don't want that sort of negativity in my life to stop me doing what I feel is right.
Yeah, I agree. I think people can definitely weigh you down. But if they were weighing me down, I wouldn't be friends with them already. But I do what you mean. Just keep
a lot of people aren't like you. You're strong, but that's good. So great. That box is ticked. Yeah. Great. Start collecting data. Start looking at data. So you're going to do these videos each day, right? Mm-hmm. Now I suggest you pick a time like, lunchtime. As you start posting 4 or 5 days in, look at what time people are actually watching the video.
Yeah.
So you can fine tune it to 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Own hashtags like hashtag South Africa, right? Start going into, if you hashtag South Africa, click on the hashtag and find out who's posting about South Africa. Start commenting and connecting with those people and see if that makes a difference to your traffic numbers, right? So start using data. I said already earlier, collect email addresses. Once you have those email addresses, find out where those people are based, what they're interested in. Email them, collect data about what they're interested in, what product isn't in England they would like to see, what their favourite product is. I want you to know what product isn't in England that should be.
Yeah. And what English people might find interesting in that,
Or, kind of, you can even do the Steve Jobs model, which is people don't know what they want. I'm going to give it to them. People don't know they don't want a keyboard from BlackBerry anymore. They don't know they don't want a keyboard from BlackBerry. So he created a phone where people didn't want a keyboard like BlackBerry. Yeah. So I think there is an element with what you're doing. There'll be thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that don't even know they should be trying a certain product, like the beer analogy you used earlier, right? Yeah, the beer's one that's quite, because I love it. And I think if you love something, it helps with your. You'll sell it easy. Exactly. I don't even drink beer, and I'm wanting to try it.
I won't even be selling it though. I'll just be explaining to you what it is.
But that's the best sales. Yeah. So people misunderstand sales. Yeah. They think it's you selling something you don't believe in, convincing people. But if you love it, I bet you've told people a million times to try it. So now you're just going to have a platform that's going to give them access to it. That's it. The next step, in my opinion, is to go guerrilla, right? So an example of this. Let's say 4 weeks, 5 weeks from now, you have actually got a platform up, right? Yeah. Then I think you need to do something mad to get people's attention. Now, let me think of a good example. The London Dungeons, every year with the poppies, they have all the poppies grow around different spots. Okay. Yeah. This is probably culturally wrong, but I'm just giving. This is what came to my head when I think of something mad. But like this flower that we're talking about, I want you to guerrilla put these flowers out in those spots, right? And maybe create like people stopping and looking, and you do social media. Just create a bit of a buzz. Yeah. Or another kind of ridiculous idea, and I'm not saying these are good ideas. Just me now. Cool. You can make up stickers, and put them on every lamppost in London, saying, you haven't lived if you haven't tried. Blah blah blah.com, right? Yeah, sure. Basically, just create a bit of a buzz. Come up with something insane that makes you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. That gets you noticed. Yeah. Right. Whatever that is. Now it could be, you dress up in an Elon Musk outfit, and pull up in a Tesla in the middle of Leicester Square. Right. Yeah. And tell all the press that Elon Musk is in town. And people will turn up for Elon Musk. I don't know how wild you want to go. Yeah. Just create a bit. I know what you mean. Though. Create a bit do of a buzz. Something mental. Sure. Yeah. Right. And people are too shy or don't give enough time to all that. I'm going to post something on social media and then hope that I become famous. Yeah. Fucking make waves. Yeah. Right. So let's come up with something mental to do. Yeah. I'll help you do it if you want. Okay, right. Yeah. Something mental. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The most important thing I've discovered in my life, building all the business that I've built and all the things I've done, and all the successes and all the failures I've had, is mindset. Right. This is a very important point now. You have a very good mindset. I appreciate that. But I know what you've heard over and over again is words like, or sentences like work-life balance, right? It's all bullshit. There is no Monday to Friday. You know that, right? Yeah. Monday to Friday is bullshit. Saturday, Sunday is created by the Industrial Revolution to make the workforce happy that Friday came and they have Saturday and Sunday to live. It doesn't exist for entrepreneurs, and it's a good thing. But on a Sunday, you might work. Yeah. And you shouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed or feel like it's Sunday, you shouldn't be, right? I take a Tuesday off because my body tells me to. Yeah. But on a Sunday, my body's fine, so I work. Yeah. Right? So listen to your body, but also don't let the system of society hold you back. Sure, yeah. There is no work-life balance, and that's a good thing, right? It's a hard mind shift to take on board. Because that's all I've ever known. And I'm sure that's all anyone's ever kind of known, Monday to Friday, that sort of thing. I feel like it's just how it is. It's gone. Yeah. You have to change your mind around this. Because what's going to happen is one of your friends is going to say, and there might be really good people back to your circle, really good people,
Yeah.
but someone on a Sunday is going to say to you, hey man, let's hang out and just, I don't know, play FIFA. Now, if you feel like it, you do it, right? But equally, you should never be embarrassed to say, actually, I'm working today because Sunday's the only day I've got to get my product lined up properly.
I feel like I'm like that, not necessarily to do with business. I feel like I'm like that already when it comes to, I know it's a smaller scale, but when it comes to uni work, if someone says, oh, yeah, let's go out, let's go do this, I'm like, no, I've got uni work to do, do you know what I mean? I can kind of shift that to this. I feel like I can
Great.
do that.
When I was 20 years old, I remember someone making me feel very guilty that I was working on Sunday. In fact, they said to me, it's weird that I like to work a Sunday. That same person, and I remember it like it was yesterday, became a lawyer.
Right.
And they don't see their family Monday to Friday. Right? They're not seeing their kids grow up. And I see my kid grow up because I worked a Sunday, because I didn't see Monday as a beginning of the week, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so I really think it's important, if you're going on this journey, to just keep this in mind, that there's things out there constructed to make you think that's the way the world should be, right? And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people trapped in that system too. So just keep your mind open. Don't look for work-life balance. Just look for life. Yeah. If you're enjoying your day-to-day, it's got a purpose, you're making a difference, you're having fun with the business, don't worry about work-life balance, right? I married my business partner. Best thing I ever did, right? Of course, look after your health and fitness. Do not sacrifice that at all. Of course. Right? Keep that always.
Especially mentally as well. I mean, I think that's something that's important
look
as well.
Look after your health, but you don't, what I always love now is that I can go to the gym on a Tuesday at 11 and there's no one there. Yeah. Whereas I know people having to go to 7 till 9 to the gym because they've got to go to work at 9. Yeah. It's quite nice when you live this way, but it's quite hard at first because a lot of people will find you weird if you're working Sunday. It's Sunday lunch. Yeah. You should be having Sunday lunch.
But like you said, that's such a normality in today's world. Like you have to kind of break the barriers a little bit when it comes to that.
Just remember that work-life balance is an illusion, right? Even people that have a job, their work-life balance is pretty awful because they don't see their family during the week, right? Yeah. And they only get to see them at night as the kids are about to fall asleep. So later, when you have kids, you want freedom. But at the beginning now, you have kids, right? Yeah. Didn't check that with you. You don't have kids.
I don't have kids, no.
Yeah, just assume.
Sorry, I thought you said no.
Yeah, but you've got the space now, right, to really kind of go for it and lean into this, right? But you need the right mindset because it's going to be a lot of societal structures that stop you from thinking this way. Yeah. The last point, right? And this one for me is kind of like probably the most important. You want to start surrounding yourself with people that know more than you around this particular concept, right? So think about it like an advisory board. Dream of who could be involved in your business to help you. Elon Musk would probably be a crazy example, but you'll be surprised. People don't ask people for help enough. Right? I always think the strongest people ask for help.
I was going to say, I think some people are scared to ask, and some people kind of they're so afraid of rejection.
Exactly. But you also have to frame the ask. So people ask me all the time for help, and I don't have an unlimited amount of time, right? Yeah. So the thing to do is ask for a particular bit of help around a purpose. So you might say, hey Elon, I'm launching this product. Can I have half an hour of your time each month to help me get this right and help people in South Africa? Right? You have to frame it in a way that is going to get them interested in supporting you. But make sure that those people you're asking are actually the people you really need to help. You can go look at companies that are doing certain parts of this right and see who is the person on LinkedIn working there. Yeah. People in companies will help you.
Yeah. Especially like you say, if our cause is good as well, people can look at our cause, helping people and stuff. I think that'll also be a big factor.
Because the big mistake people make about university, this is the big mistake people make in university. People think university gives them a network. Right, that's one of the big pitches for university. It gives you a network. The real networks in life are not networks from university. In fact, those networks from university can distract you. Networks come from your purpose. So now you need to build a network around this purpose, right? Yeah. You need people that are going to help you with this business. That's the network you need. And you build it by having an idea and a purpose and then reaching out to those people. Yeah. That's how you build it. Maybe you go to some South African Chamber of Commerce events. Right? You should sign up to the South African Chamber of Commerce for that matter. You want to start going where the community that are interested in this subject are. Right? People spend 4 years at university making a network that often 9 times out of 10 never actually becomes useful.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, that network at university thing.
Yeah.
Every network I've built has been around a company purpose. And it's very easy. Nearly every network I've ever needed, within 6 months I've got the whole network. I don't need to spend 4 years at university meeting random people.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered it, you know?
I appreciate it so much.
Excited?
I can't wait.
All right.
I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you very, very much.